All right, we want to bring you an update now on Gonzalo Lira. He's the Chilean journalist who's been living in Ukraine covering the corruption in the Zelensky government, much to the chagrin of the Zelensky government, by the way. And before the war broke out, he'd been living there for years. Of course, he is an American citizen also, which is odd that the State Department has been absolutely silent on his disappearance. Now, the drama, I guess, started a few weeks ago when Gonzalo Lira was reporting news about what was happening with the Zelensky government arming convicted criminals, letting them out of prison and giving them heavy weapons.
Well, that was one of the first things that he tweeted. And then he also was going live streaming on Twitch and saying things such as the morale was low inside the Ukrainian government, Ukrainian military, and that soldiers were really starting to get blue about what they were being asked to do. And so they were being issued a certain type of drug that was sort of well, there's no other way to put it, drugging them and in order to continue through this battle. He had also mentioned a list of names that he said the Zelensky government had disappeared. And he said, if you don't hear from me in a certain amount of time, then I will have joined this list. So he must have had some kind of knowledge that they were listening to him, right? So he is someone who is on the ground issuing warnings about the Ukrainian government, not within the parameters of that tweet, but a few days later, he was disappeared. He fell off the face of the earth. He was supposed to make certain media appearances that he never showed up for. And then he just reappeared saying things we can't really comprehend. We still can't. Let's listen.
Well, yeah, I should set this up a little bit more because this is Richard Medhurst, so we want to give him credit for this. He sat down with him and did a really long interview. If you want to watch the whole thing, it's over an hour long. And he just basically asked that question, what the hell happened? You were supposed to have these media appearances on April 15th, and then you just disappeared. Where'd you go? What happened now that we know that you're okay? What unfolded with these security forces that rounded you up? Listen.
Gonzalo, how are you?
I'm doing very well, Richard. Thank you very much for having me on. And hi, chat. How's it going?
I think we've got about 1,000 people watching. So again, guys, please make sure you hit the like button. It helps with the algorithm. Gonzalo, can I just ask you what the hell happened? Because everybody was worried. You were set to appear on George Galloway's show, and then you didn't show up, and people were saying all sorts of things. You yourself, you said that if we don't hear from you within 12 hours, that you've likely been picked up by the SBU, which are the Ukrainian security services. Is that what happened? Were you picked up by the SBU?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And legally, for the time being, I can't discuss the period from the time I was detained. I was detained on April 15th at around, I do believe around 1:20 p.m., or roughly around that time. And I cannot discuss in any detail whatsoever that period, that lost week, if you will. I can say that they sent 8 guys that were heavily armed.
Oh, really?
That's kind of flattering. Yeah, and me, middle-aged, unarmed, and 8 heavily armed men. Yeah, I felt, very flattered. But no, seriously,
Wow.
I can't talk about it. I actually signed a document that I understand that in the law in Ukraine during a period of investigation, you can't discuss anything that has gone on during this period of time. And so I am going to abide by that rule.
So this is like an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, so sort of.
During the time of the investigation until a final sentence is handed down, yeah.
But so he signs the Ukrainian government, because he's reporting on what's unfolding there. He's rounded up, held against his will for a week. Mm-hmm. According to reports, drugged and forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement. And then he suddenly pops back up again. Now, everyone thought he was dead.
Yes.
Because the list of people...
Some reports were that he was dead.
The list of people that he had tweeted about, that list of people, if his name were to be added to that list, those people had already been killed.
Yes.
So this was not this would not have been out of the ordinary. I can only hope, and then maybe that the amount of media attention that his disappearance got, and garnered.
Well, it wasn't that much.
Perhaps
That
kept him
was the
alive.
thing that we were covering last week is why isn't the media? It was really only sort of indie channels like ours that were interested in where he was. So CNN was absent on this.
Oh, all of Western media was entirely
all of Western
quiet.
media was absent on this. So they continue to be, and this is troubling because when someone who is an American, I don't know what the social contract is to be a Chilean citizen, but I do know what the social contract is to be an American citizen. And if you get into trouble in a foreign land, it is the State Department's agreement with you in exchange for paying your taxes that they will go to bat and get you out of trouble. They will get you out of somewhere if there's a hurricane. They will get you out if there's a war. That's why they ask you to register with the State Department when you go abroad, so they know where their citizens are and what they will need from them. So now, just a few months ago, the State Department and the embassy in Ukraine was emptied out in anticipation of the war, but they are back there now. So why don't we see the U.S. government having more words about this? The State Department should have words, some words, any words would
Right.
be good.
And he, to be clear, he's not allowed to talk and he's not allowed to leave.
Right.
He's a journalist in this area. He's not allowed to leave and he's not allowed to talk until an investigation is done.